Here's the thing, the motorcycle gear industry is quietly splitting into two completely different worlds, and almost nobody is talking about it, honestly. On one side, you have manufacturers engineering pants that can survive several seconds of grinding against asphalt at highway speeds. On the other, you have companies selling what is essentially fashion denim with armor pockets sewn in for theater. Independent abrasion testing has shown over and over that ordinary denim wears through in a fraction of a second during a slide. And get this, thousands of riders walk into dealerships every single week and buy gear assuming that if it has a motorcycle label and a knee pocket, it must be safe. That assumption is killing skin. Here's what the dealerships will not tell you. 20 years ago, protective motorcycle jeans were bulky, ugly, and absurdly expensive. Today, brands using Kevlar, Kovac, and AAA rated materials have proven that casual-looking gear can survive a real crash without looking like riot armor. Meanwhile, budget manufacturers are still flooding shelves with cheap textile pants built around margin, not materials. Replacing a pair of pants costs you $50. Replacing the skin on your knees costs you months of skin grafts and a permanent reminder of why you cheaped out. Bottom line, smart riders are not asking whether the pants have armor pockets anymore. They are asking one brutal question. What happens when this thing meets asphalt at 30 miles per hour? Or stick around because the final brand on this list has spent decades perfecting protective denim, and it might be the closest thing this industry has to wearable body armor. Number 8, best. Bullet Kovac riding jeans. Bullet started as a niche British brand that only safety nerds talked about in forums. It evolved into one of the companies that forced the entire industry to take protective denim seriously. This is a brand built on materials science, not marketing decks. Here is the translation. Kovac is a proprietary fiber blend woven directly into the denim, engineered specifically to resist abrasion instead of just looking tough. It is not a patch. It is the structure of the garment itself. Bullet commands premium pricing compared to ordinary riding jeans, and it has built a cult following across Europe and Australia. Gear reviewers who actually care about crash performance, not just style, recommend it constantly. The verdict here is simple. Bullet is the motorcycle equivalent of reinforced concrete disguised as blue jeans. But if you think Bullet is impressive, wait until you see the company that basically turned Kevlar into a religion. Number 7 best, Hood, Jeans K7 and AAA series. Hood refused to follow the casual fashion trend that swallowed most of this industry. While competitors chased skinny fits and lifestyle branding, Hood kept building heavily reinforced riding jeans for people who actually expect to crash someday. Here is the translation on AAA rating. It is the highest abrasion and protection certification a motorcycle garment can earn, meaning the fabric survived extended slide testing without shredding through. Hood has multiple models that hit this benchmark. These jeans carry full Kevlar lining and extensive coverage zones, and they come at a premium niche price. The customer base is small but fiercely loyal, mostly experienced riders who have already seen what asphalt does to bare skin. The verdict is blunt. Hood builds jeans like somebody expects you to crash eventually, because somebody probably will. But if you think that is overkill, wait until you meet the company that practically invented this entire category. Number 6 best, Dragon jeans. Dragon is one of the original pioneers of protective motorcycle denim, and it earned that credibility long before riding jeans became a marketable trend. This brand was doing abrasion engineering when most competitors were still selling plain Levi's with a patch. Dragon sustained premium pricing for years and built a massive global following because the product actually works. Early adoption of Kevlar, continuous investment in new materials, and multiple AAA rated offerings have kept it at the top of the segment. Owners do not just buy these once. They buy them again, and they tell every rider they know to do the same. The real kicker is that Dragon is often treated less like apparel and more like a long-term investment, the same way you would think about tires or brakes. The verdict writes itself. Dragon is what happens when blue jeans are engineered like military equipment. Now let's leave the winners behind and look at the pants that are selling by the truckload, despite having one very uncomfortable weakness. If you are getting value out of this breakdown, hit like and subscribe right now. Motorcycle gear marketing is full of half-truths, and this channel exists to separate real protection from pure advertising copy. Number 5 failure, Built Blaze. 2 textile pants built became popular by making riding gear cheap and accessible, and it built a loyal audience of first-time riders chasing their first jacket and pants combo. The problem is that the brand never evolved past that entry-level positioning. It got comfortable in the bargain bin and stayed there. These pants are frequently discounted below sticker price and bundled into beginner gear packages at the dealership counter. That tells you everything about how the brand is positioned internally. Standard polyester construction, zero Kevlar reinforcement, and a pricing strategy built entirely around getting beginners through the door. Here's the translation. Standard polyester has almost no resistance to friction heat, which means it can melt or tear through in a slide rather than absorbing the energy. The verdict is almost insulting in its simplicity. It is the fast food combo meal of motorcycle pants. Cheap, filling, and not built to last under real pressure. But if you think cheap polyester is questionable, wait until you see the company that built an entire reputation on compromise. Number 4 failure, Joe Rocket Atomic Textile Pants. Joe Rocket once helped democratize motorcycle gear, putting affordable protection in front of riders who could not stretch their budget for premium brands. That mission made sense 15 years ago. It does not make sense in 2026 when better materials exist at similar price points. Seasonal discounts on this line regularly reach significant markdowns, and dealership inventories remain stacked high because the line keeps getting overproduced. The construction leans heavily polyester, with limited abrasion reinforcement and very little real investment in advanced materials. This brand is competing almost entirely on price, not protection. Here is where it gets truly desperate. The pants still wear a motorcycle brand name, which gives riders false confidence that the gear was engineered for crash conditions. The verdict says it plainly. Bringing these to a major slide is like bringing an umbrella to a hurricane, and somehow the next company may be even more surprising. Number 3 failure, Sedici Garda waterproof pants. Sedici rode the wave of the adventure touring boom, becoming a favorite among value-conscious ADV riders who wanted weatherproofing on a budget. The entire design philosophy here centers on comfort and rain protection, not slide survival. That is a dangerous set of priorities for something you wear on a motorcycle. These pants show up constantly in package deals and retail bundles, which tells you the brand survives on volume, not margin. Waterproof membranes dominate the engineering. Kevlar reinforcement is nowhere to be found, and the polyester shell is built for weather, not friction. The real kicker is that these pants will keep you bone dry through a 4-hour rainstorm and still leave your knees exposed in a parking lot tip over. The verdict is short and uncomfortable. It is essentially a raincoat with knee armor stapled on for marketing purposes. What are you seeing in your area? Are your local dealerships pushing inexpensive textile pants on new riders? Or are people finally starting to demand AAA rated and Kevlar-Lined gear? Drop it in the comments because dealership behavior varies wildly by region, and we want to hear the real story. And if that sounds concerning, the next brand sacrifices protection for something riders love even more: comfort. Number 2, failure, First Gear HT Air Overpants. First Gear was once a major player in touring apparel, the kind of brand that long-haul riders trusted by default. Over the past decade, more technical competitors quietly overshadowed it, and the brand never fully adapted. That is a dangerous spot to be in when your reputation was built on trust, not innovation. This line appears constantly in clearance events, and markdowns are common across every major retailer. The defining feature is massive mesh paneling for airflow, prioritizing hot weather comfort over everything else. Standard textile construction throughout, with very little structural abrasion resistance built into the actual fabric. Here's the translation. Mesh panels move air beautifully, but mesh also has almost no abrasion resistance compared to woven Kevlar or reinforced denim. Riders choose this gear knowing the trade-off, which is almost more alarming than not knowing at all. The verdict cuts deep. It is like wearing air conditioning to a knife fight. But none of these brands are as alarming as the final category because millions of riders are wearing it right now without knowing it. Number 1 worst, generic fashion, riding jeans. This category exists because riders wanted to look casual off the bike without carrying a separate pair of jeans in their saddlebag. It exploded in popularity across nearly every apparel brand chasing the lifestyle market. And here is the brutal part. Most manufacturers in this space never actually solved the protection problem. They just hid it better. Retail shelves are loaded with this inventory. Constant markdowns keep it moving, and first-time buyers purchase it by the truckload because it looks just like normal denim. Single-layer construction, minimal reinforcement, and armor pockets marketed like they constitute a complete protection system on their own. They do not. The real kicker is that these jeans look great, feel comfortable, and give riders a false sense of security that evaporates the moment they hit pavement. Here is where it gets truly desperate. A knee pad sewn into thin denim does nothing if the denim around it disintegrates on contact. The verdict is the harshest one on this list. They are costumes pretending to be safety equipment. And that is exactly why the companies investing in Kevlar and abrasion engineering are gaining cult-like followings while the fashion brands keep hemorrhaging credibility. The motorcycle gear landscape, and yes, we mean that literally, the actual marketplace has become a battlefield between engineering and marketing. One side builds pants around abrasion science, certification, and materials that genuinely stand a chance against asphalt. The other side builds products around price points, comfort, and appearance, betting that most riders never test the difference. Neither side exists by accident. Cheap pants sell because riders naturally focus on what they can see in the store: armor pockets, waterproofing claims, ventilation panels, and styling. But asphalt does not read marketing brochures. Asphalt only cares about material strength, full stop. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most riders spend $10,000 or more on a motorcycle and then try to save $50 or $100 on the only thing standing between their legs and the pavement. That is the costly mistake, and it is happening in dealerships across the country every single day. If you are shopping for motorcycle pants in 2026, stop asking whether they look good. Stop asking whether they technically have knee armor. Start asking whether they use Kevlar, Kovac, or carry a legitimate AAA abrasion certification, because that is the only question that matters when you are sliding. Replacing pants is inconvenient. Replacing skin is life-changing, and no amount of style is worth that trade. The riders making the smartest purchases right now are treating protective gear like insurance. They hope they never need it, but if that terrible day ever comes, they are betting on engineering instead of advertising. And that bet is the one thing that can save you from a costly mistake. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about gear in 2026, because in this industry, the difference between premium and cheap often is not comfort. It is what survives when everything goes wrong.